All right, guys, so here's our next project for next few hours. Not too terribly bad. Many of you guys may be familiar with these trucks. They're kind of pole digger trucks for the utility industry. Work really well, and they work really well if everything goes well. And I say that because what happened here is they bent up this guy pretty bad. This is supposed to be flat, and it is not. So they've had me work on one of these before, and what happened before, or what I did to solve the issue before, is I actually yanked on this and straightened it out, and it worked out well. But this one is just a little beyond that. This one's really got, I don't know if you can see it in the camera because everything's so white, but it's been up. So we took the serial number and contacted this company to see if they actually make a replacement piece, and sure enough they do. And so here it is right here. And so by looking at it, it's pretty simple, straightforward repair. This gets a weld across the top. This gets a weld right in here, and two little vertical welds right in this area. And so it's a pretty nice little wax on, wax off, or wax off, wax on thing. Cut and slice and dice and weld back together. That's the other weld up there. Let me see. Yeah, so these are little covers, little hollow covers there that we're going to be removing, and looking in there and seeing what we need to do to take all this stuff apart and go from there. So stick around, check out this nice little video. All right, let's get started.
That bird's nest in here.
Oh, there is? Okay. Let's slide it up there. No eggs in it, eh?
Huh?
No eggs in it or nothing?
I think no one's lived here for a while.
Okay.
Looks more like a bunch of sticks than a nest now. Can't pull it out.
What does Curtis say? We're right by the airport, so there's no beating it. Actually, let's take out this one down here. So this has got a little wire clip, a safety clip of some sort, maybe for a sensor that goes up in there, and then a little hydraulic cylinder that pushes down this tongue to catch the end of this. So we're gonna undo the hydraulic hose right here. It's a small thin line there, and I believe this is the line that holds the cylinder in place. So a couple more things before we get access to this. One of the things I did notice is that this is actually welded on the inside, and that's gonna be a bit of a challenge, of course, because you know it is, and I don't want to have to undo all these hydraulic sleeves, or I don't know what these are actually called, but they're not cylinders. But either way, it's something new, right? Hadn't done this before, so we're learning as we're going. Okay, let's keep taking these things off.
Twisted.
Okay, so we've gotten most of this stuff off of here, and now the rest of this is scrap, right? So, oh, look at that, it's got a crack, something I'll have to tend to. So now I can just cut all this up as necessary and as needed. It shouldn't be something that I have to be too concerned with about being too precise or careful at the moment. So on the one hand, let me see. Yeah, on the one hand, I could just torch this stuff off here, torch these off very crudely, and then clean them up with a gouger and buffing wheel and make it a lot easier that way. Or I can just be careful and gouge it all off at one time. But I think I'll cut it off with a torch and see how far I can get without burning too much of this junk. All right, let's break out the torch. As I was doing some investigating, it looks like we have a very narrow window. There's a piece of material back in here that runs right against up in here. Something like, where is it? Something like that. You probably can't see it. So that leaves me a very narrow window of where to torch. So I'm going to start right along this edge here and try and cut that free. And from that point, I will see, let me see, what will I see? I will see another plane. I will see if it will allow me enough room to cut through there, because I do not want to have to remove these cylinders. That's gonna stink. I'll see if I can torch upwards once I get a bulk of this off. Torch upwards right against that wall, and then we can reach the grinder and then sand it all down. The welding part's gonna be something else. I may not be able to reach it all the way, and I think I may be fine with not welding it 100% as they did before. And I only say that because the problem didn't come from these areas there, so it just stretched over here. The weld held pretty good, and I think we'll be in good shape. So let's see where I can start cutting this up in pieces. Oh, here's another thing. There is a spring in there, as you saw, and so I may not actually put it back together for him, because there's a procedure for putting that back together. So I'll give him all the parts, and I'll just weld this guy up, put it back on, and we are done. So let's see how long it takes to cut this guy off and put it back on. there up to there. Cut a big hole.
Just want to cut a hole in it.
Okay, so I want to cut a hole in it. Extend to the side. I want to cut a hole in it so that I can access that piece that needs to cut across, so that I can cut that across, and then this piece should come out after I cut the other side. There's this plate right here that's back in there. It serves as the back of that spring, and so I cut an access hole here. I'll be able to put the torch into it and cut that center piece out. So that's very similar to what you're saying. All right, so my helper brought up a good point. Why not cut, my dilemma is this piece in here, the backing plate for that spring, and it's a piece of 3/8. I went ahead and cut behind it, but now I need to get around it. And what's holding me back is that I need to access in there. And so he brought out a good point. Why not just cut right in this area here? Right here on both sides. This top half off, and then the bulk of this will fall off. And that way I have access to that plate a little bit better. So it's a good idea. I think we're gonna go with that route. It's always nice to have extra set of eyes out here. So we'll do that number right there. And up there. Okay. You hear it creaking?
Little fire in there.
Huh?
It's a little fire.
You're fine. Let me get you to get your gloves on and hold on to that as I cut this top piece off. I think it will fall. It looks like it at least. Yeah, let me cut across the top. Which way do I need to? Where's the cut?
Right there.
Okay.
I don't know what hold it over.
Okay, did it cut right on that line?
Yeah.
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 If not, it's gonna hang up on something.
Right on the line, right above it, you connected.
Get a rope then if you don't feel comfortable.
Is it heavy?
It's not that heavy, but I don't want the sparks on you. From this way. This way. That piece came off rather well. Not bad. Good job on that. Okay. Next thought is to go ahead and cut more access to here. So I will cut to that general area. Cut that out as well. Same thing here. Cut that out as well. That way I can put the torch in there and cut this thicker piece off. This is 3/8 thick back in there. And I need to get behind it is the problem. So if I cut an access, I may be able to torch from this side that way long ways and shoot all that sparks in that general direction, and it'd be a kind of a long oops, where you at? A long arcing. It's not an arc, actually a long flame torch cut from this side, so that I don't have to point the flame inside towards the boom, so I don't want to damage it. So I already got a scar there from a crack, a weld crack. So cut more access and we'll see what happens from there, but we are doing very well. Let's keep going. Helper job.
And the cool planes.
Don't yank them while I'm carrying them. Pull them right out of my hand. just a little bit. See if the tubes are hot. They're still good. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Well, that worked out a little bit better than I expected, which is always a good thing. And so now we can do the same thing, just torch from underneath and cut that long line and bust that free. I have to clean this up there, right? Because that'll be interfering, but it's getting really close. So that's looking really, really nice. I expect there would be some type of springing action when it does bust through, up until I cut that top piece off, because there's a lot of tension built up in it. But I think we're doing well. I should be able to squeeze the flame between this tube and that without affecting it too much, I hope, right? But we'll see. All right, that's the next one. Cool. Well, that went much better than I expected. I think that's twice I said that today. But this is one of those jobs that, as Ren DMC would say, it's tricky. So it's tricky. All right, next piece. ruin it. All right, so I paused there for a moment because I didn't want to goof that up. I was gonna try and chance washing that off with a torch, you know, because you know, Torch Norris taught me some tricks, but I don't want to do that. I'll mess it up. So I'm gonna use an arc gouger. A little bit cleaner, a little bit easier, a little bit faster. Here I talk about the separation line. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that on the bevel, so that worked out okay, but I will need to gouge around this outer perimeter just a little bit. So clean all that up, clean all this up. The gouger, I will probably shoot the sparks that way. Same thing, I don't want to shoot them into the truck. Who knows what's so greasy up there. I don't want to catch that on fire. So let's get the gouger set up. Got that a little bit cleaned up with the needle scaler and the arc gouger. I still left a little bit of material, maybe a 32nd or a 16th above, so that we can grind it flush without any issues. And then another plane. And then, so same thing here. We'll be able to grind this flush and nice and smooth. I made some marks over here where that part goes, so we can square it back up or put it in the right position. So now it's just a bunch of grinding for a little bit, and try real hard not to damage this or score this piece at all. This is a cylinder. Fortunately, none of these cylinders have really gotten warm. The only one that got warm was this one from the torching, but it turned out all right. So I think we're doing okay. Let's continue to wipe this down or clean it up. Okay, so error on my part. I didn't check it before I prepped it, but this does not fit that. I gave the customer, you get it? Right there. And it's got a heck of a gap right there. And I don't think that this is the new, it is a slightly different design. And I don't know if it's a new and improved design, but we need to do some research before we put something on there, because that does not look right. You know, here's another lesson for the day. Make sure that the parts fit before you clean them all up and ruined the paint. Man, oh man. Oh well, it's a nice reminder. So let's pause here until I get back and go talk to the customer. Okay, so after our brief weekend break, they forgot to pick these up, so they forgot to give them to me. So now these basically go somewhere in there. Forget exactly, maybe like that. So we'll put them on. It'll make more sense once we tack that first piece up on there. And I'll look back at the first couple of pictures of this video and see how it goes. Well, don't hold it up there yet. But let's go ahead and put it up there, I guess. Let's give it a shot. You're a little too far away.
Might be.
Yeah, this guy's good. There you go. Like that. So, okay. It looks really good. Let's get that cleaned up. I had some good rain over the weekend, and so just clean these little rust spots down a little bit. Or not. And we'll get that glued on there, and it should be done. It's not too terribly much left to do. Just a few stringer passes, and we should be fine. Alright, so those tacks look good there. That should hold it in position. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up this area. I should have cleaned it up first, but I didn't. But it is what it is, right? So we'll get it welded up. I'll see if I can get the welding lens on this so you can see a little bit of overhead right there. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe some of the top as well. So, looking good. Keep going.
got? With a grab?
There's something right on the inside right here. Can you see what's inside there?
There's a hose.
Is it a hose? Watch your eyes. Okay, so that turned out all right. And I got a little bit of overhead there, and some of that. I hope that camera catches some of that. And so I'm gonna do the same thing with this side. Put that little piece on here. Do a little bit of overhead in that direction, and then I'll try and see if I can weld in there. This should have plenty of weld to withstand, you know, the abuses. I'm gonna try and reach up in there from up here. Maybe. And then just see how much I can weld. A little bit of a tough spot, but you know, I like to say if I can see it, I can weld it. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna try and reach in from up here. I'm gonna wait to the end because I need to see how many rods I have left, and I don't want to waste rods not completing what I need to complete. So I'll finish this first. So all that, and I turned the camera on and off, and I missed all the good parts. Just terrible. I was trying to show off again. Kidding. But anyway, what I did is I had to reach in there and weld from here and weld from here, and I put a nice little weld in there, and it worked out okay. And it's better than it was, right? So she got my flashlight right quick. In there somewhere. Got the slag off of it, but need to clean it up a little bit better. Anyway, now all that's left is this part right here. So let's get that put on there. Okay, that's you can see out there because the sun's killing me. That worked okay. Anyway, so that's done as far as the welding goes. Now we just need to put this hose back in this place, put the hose back, put the little wiring harness back, put the covers back on, and then we'll give it back to the customer. I spoke to the customer this morning. He said he'll reassemble this section here because of that procedure that is involved in putting that back in there. I don't know what it is, but they know these machines better than I do. So I'll just give them back the parts and they'll put it back together. After we get this covered up, actually I'm gonna throw some paint on there right quick before I cover that up. But it came out all right, you know, not too bad. So for being such a small little job, it turned out a little bit more challenging than originally expected. That's okay. That's the way it goes. Some are easy, some are not. And so let's keep putting this thing together. Get a hose and
I don't think we're going to be able to compress that spring.
Oh man, that hurt. start wrapping up. Okay, well, that looks like that'll do it. Put the hose line back on there. I didn't have a cap for that. But either way, hey, look at these Texas mosquitoes. It looks like about all we can do for this moment. This spring down here is what we're talking about compressing. They may end up having to get a new spring because that guy's pretty bent up, so I'll let them decide on what to do with that. Got all the bolts and stuff ready for them. I guess we can put this guy back on, but other than that, that's going to be up to them. But here comes another stinking plane. Golly. Alaska. Huh. Maybe my friend Aaron is coming to visit. Anyway, that will do it. We just put up our junk, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks again for following, and you know, if you can subscribe, why not? Doesn't hurt, right? So again, thanks a lot. We shall see you guys on the next one.